What's up, squad? Today we got some PPI, so we're going to see a little bit of volatility. I just rushed through for the show and I had to go fetch my daughter from school. So that's why I'm a little bit late. Guys, so look at this chart, right? Just tons and tons and tons of yellow sitting at the upside, right? Billions of dollars all sitting here with Bitcoin at these levels under $100,000. So yesterday we saw a bounce. We spoke about a higher low bounce. It didn't go as low as what expected, but that's what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting to see a higher low on the 4-hour. Now we've crunched up to the big zone of where we're looking for a short squeeze. So today, let's prepare, right? Let's prepare for short squeeze. There is a lot of liquidity sitting at around $98,000, $99,000. So the market's getting ready to go there. At the same time, dominance is looking very bearish, right? So it's very likely altcoins are going to move quite aggressively when this happens. But we do got to speak about if there's a pullback before, where we're kind of buying, because when I see this start to happen, my risk appetite starts to go up slightly, right? And what that means is on this current pullback now, we've seen a small rejection. I'm possibly looking for some entries. So I want to go through a couple of altcoins with you guys. Let's look at a little bit of midterm entries. What I mean by midterm, maybe the next week, 2 weeks, we're kind of sitting with 1 or 2 positions. And then obviously I want to speak around my trades that I am in and what I'm doing with my trading accounts. And obviously today we got PPI, right? PPI is coming in. Let's see how this does. I think the last one was very good. Let's see what happens to today. I think we are sitting here at 0.3% as the forecast. We'll see how that comes in, but that will bring in some volatility into the market. So guys, lots of love. Happy Tuesday to you all. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like 𝗧𝗏𝗱𝗏𝗍. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
Yes, fam, how are we doing, guys? So I promised you $2,000 today. Get the likes up. And for those who have a 𝗬𝗱𝗏𝗏𝗏 account, later on in the show, I'm going to ask you for your user ID. I'm going to give you $250 if you've been selected and you have a 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 account. If you have deposited any amount, right, I will give you 5. I will double the money and give you 500. 4 people I will give in this stream. $250 and $500 each if you have deposited. Okay, guys, let's jump straight into the action. So Bitcoin did break this trend. Okay, so a little bit of signs of life. We saw a nice 4-hour candle yesterday within Bitcoin. At the same time, we obviously saw dominance drop down. And the interesting thing around Bitcoin dominance is we are basically looking to make new lows, right? So this could really be where dominance starts to creep down into the mid-50s. Okay, just showing you again, we should see some, alts may have been hit quite hard, but we're going to see some strength, right, within alts. And you can kind of see that I'm getting ready for a pop-up anywhere to these areas. But we are sitting with a wall where we have paused right now, right? That's the wall, okay? So when we see there's resistance, the key here is not to say, okay, I'm going all in type of thing. The key is to say, okay, when it breaks this is where the acceleration is going to happen. So what we look for now is we look for support areas. Right? Basically look at, okay, where we're looking to go down and possibly break through. And the first thing that I did see was we broke a little bit of a shorter term trend as well, indicating to me that this pullback ain't going to be too big if we are bullish, right? If we are bullish. And now I don't mind these type of odds when I see charts like this and I see the scenarios like this, because for me, it's about understanding that your wins are worth way more than your losses, right? If you're winning 20% on a winning trade, right, and you're losing 3% on a losing trade, right, ultimately your 1 win is worth like 6 losses, right? So it's about just fishing at the right areas. And if we're going to go bull today, maybe PPI launches us off, right? This is kind of where you're going to do it, because from here we have basically the 2 scenarios, right? The first scenario is we actually have the squeeze. Then again, I think it's going to do that. So this will be TP type of areas when it comes to trades. That's the first, right? The second one is, hey, it's a fake, things go bad today, and do that, right? So for me, the fact that we're breaking, we're getting a little indication that the move might be bull. And this is kind of the areas of where I would look to pick something up, right? I'll draw this bottom trend. I'll put a stop loss nice and tight, because this is the time to be bull, right? If you're going to be bullish. And if it goes bear, stop me out with a couple % loss, no problem. I will fish the areas nice and low, because we are getting to the lower areas of this wick. There is a little bit more in case maybe the market does want to go and capture. When we are done capturing liquidity to the downside and wiping all of the longs out of the market is going to send a very strong pump to the upside first, right? I spoke about this yesterday, and I want to speak about it again quickly over here, right? Is if we look here, I am seeing, let's go here to the daily. Okay, let's zoom out. We are very far from a real Bitcoin breakout, but we are very close for a nice fake pump. Then something like this, then a breakout, right? That's kind of the play. So this is something that for me is going to probably be one of the most exciting moves in the next 30 days, is the one that we're preparing for right now. After that, I think the market's going to be a little bit slower, right? So I don't really want to miss this, because if I start to read the room, I realize that the opportunities here are there, okay, but they're only coming every couple of days. So if I miss these type of entries here, if it plays out, right, then I know, okay, in the next 2 weeks will possibly be the next major entries for this type of move that we are looking for, right? When there's strong downside, there is strong bounces that come from that over there too. So that's where total 3 is sitting, right? So when it comes to Bitcoin, this is my kind of plays. I actually don't think we're going to pull back much more if we're bullish, okay? And there's 2 plays with PPI. The first one is we pre-pump it, little dump, and we go. Things come out good. They always send a little red candle to just scare the market off. Okay, the next one is us dropping in here, and then we actually start exploding. Okay, so again, the simplicity of this is we are coming down, put a trend in, and that's my trigger point. Right, I don't want to get in too early. It's still telling me that the real breakout's only about 3 hours. Okay, and that is what I need to pay attention to. Right, when it comes to liquidation maps, I just want to show you guys, there's liquidity sitting. This is why price is stopping right now. Do you see just above it, there's liquidity. That means that shorting is happening in this area, right? This 89,000 shorters are trying to hold this wall. You see a little bit of yellow here, then you see a darker yellow spot here, and then you see a massive patch of yellow. That is where I see market pushing to at any point to wipe that liquidity. And this is why we are currently pausing over here. There's shorting happening here. Not many are trusting the actual move at this point, right? That's why for us, I do slightly have a bullish cap on today, right? No one's believing it. It's not true. It's probably the best time to flash up and catch the market off of guard. Okay, amazing. Now, we go through a couple of trades. Okay, so the one for me that's looking really good for some entries. Again, I just want to go through some entries as well as some stop loss points for you guys, just so we have a nice little setup rolling going. Remember, for now, there's not much to do on a long-term portfolio, but we can trade. And this is where I'm bringing my trader's hat back on, right? So it looks like the nice areas to load up on Sol. I do think it's going to come back down a little bit again. Doesn't look like it's breaking 1 hour trend. Okay, it's anywhere between this 133 and this 135, right? Now, if I wanted to protect myself on something like this, a Fibonacci level will be quite important. Okay, so if I'm buying there, there's 2 places I'm putting a stop loss. The one is at the 132, and the other one is the 130. Now, this is all going to come down to your strategy when it comes to what you are trading for today, right? If it's to just catch the move and make some cash, you got 2 options, right? The first option is the conservative option, which means you're going to go lower leverage. Let's say if you are going to take a leverage trade, it might even be spot, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, if it's spot, this bottom one is the stop loss that I would use. Why? Because this is the 4-hour trend, right? Which means that, you know, if I'm short-term trading, I don't mind getting stopped out here and entering a little bit lower. But if it's a little bit of a longer trade for a couple of days that I want to hold, I don't want to get stopped out and fight for the entries, right? So something like this is my 2 points of risk. The one is a little bit more conservative, low leverage spot. The other one is higher leverage, less of my money. Okay, so if you've put aside $1,000 to trade with on the side right now, okay, if I'm going to go the more aggressive approach, I'm going to look for maybe a little bit more leverage, I'll only use $200 of that $1,000, right? I'll trade it on isolated, and that's it, right? If I don't have much time today, I want to go a little bit more conservative, then I might trade 500 or 600 of the 1,000 on lower leverage. Okay, so it's not about, because remember, if you get this entry and markets then spark off, right, you have an ability to build and make that bigger later on. So right now, it's just about getting the first step correct. You don't need to over push it. Now, if this is the zone that I'm buying here, right now, I'm going to use now as an example. I do think a little bit lower is the better buy. Okay, but if I look at this stop loss, right, this is around 2.8% on the stop loss here. If I allow it to have a bit more time to come into my zone, I can get it down to around a 1.7, 1.8%. Now, remember, whatever leverage you are going to use, you are going to times this percentage by. So if you're going to be on a 5x, you've got to times by 1.7. So that's 8% risk. Now, again, it comes down to your strategies, right? Are you using less of your money so you can go a little bit more aggressive, or using more of your money, you've got to be conservative? If it's conservative, you don't want to lose more than 3 to 5% on the trade, right? So something like this, if you can use a bit more capital, this is something that I'll kind of 2x, right? I won't really do much more than that. I'm looking for 2x, make a good 10, 20, 30% of my money and basically get out, right? If I have $1,000 and I'm going to go with $100 now, you could have a 10% per trade risk appetite, 10, 15%, because you have many backup accounts. Okay, so technically, probably with both scenarios, you're going to be trading with the same amount of money, right? There's just two different strategies and styles that you're using. Okay, so if we look at this, go over here. Let's say you wanted to buy in the green box. Okay, this is the first one. This is around about on the more aggressive, around a 5x, right? For now, okay, over here, around a 2x type of entry. Now, let's go a step further. If you don't want to get into the green zone and you just want to go when the market is ready to go, right? Then you put that top trend in. And that top trend is telling me that any bounces right now are not real, right? So it's very likely this is going to push up, then do this, then it will be real. If you wait out a few hours, okay, and you want to, let's say, go more aggressive, because right now it's not aggressive enough for you, 5x is not enough for you, then you have to wait a little bit longer. For you need more candles to print. You need more structure to come into play, right? Once we break this trend here over a couple of hours, okay, then you have the ability to put a way tighter stop loss. Okay, and if you put a way tighter stop loss, that's way less risk that's in play for the trade. Okay, so if it comes here now and it breaks out, and then you manage to get to a 0.5% risk to reward ratio, right? And you have a 5% risk appetite on per trade, or 10%, then you'll start this trade on a 10x. If it's a 10% risk appetite, then you can start it on a 20x. Right? So again, it just comes down to your time availability today and what type of strategy you want to go. There are three choices for you right now when it comes to conservative, the little bit more aggressive, but it's guessing that it's going to bounce now, which again, we have all rights to. We have a bunch of reasons of why we can bounce here. It's not fully guessing, okay? Or give it a couple of hours. I want to go a little bit more aggressive. Now, why is this last one also a very good strategy? Let PPI play out first. Let it do this. Then when it's done this, it's going to make a decision, and that's going to give you the opportunity to long or short, right? The opportunity over there. So this, again, for me, is the route that I'm doing. So if I look at where I'm at right now, okay, I'm still in cash. I'm in 0 positions. I'm waiting for that one, right? I got to shoot a bunch of shows today. I got a bunch of things to do, right? So I'm going to wait a couple hours later tonight. Boom, get ready to make the money. Right? But none of them are incorrect. So as you go through, the one trade that I am in, just to show you guys, I am in a Zcash short. Okay, so again, I'm kind of like, the whole market's kind of doing a similar thing. There's a couple of tokens that are on their own. So last night, when I saw this pump happen, right, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, interesting. Let's just put in a simple trend line. Oh, you break the trend line, you retest, I'm shorting, right? Put a stop loss in. And because of the percentage-wise, I just want to show you guys. So when I shorted here, I could put a very tight stop loss, right? So if I click in here, my stop loss was at a percent, okay? And I started laddering into the position, okay? And long story short, I'm in with only... Let's see here, with only around 50% of the position, the amount of money. So I'm in $13,000 on a 10x, and that's why I'm paying with a $154,000. So $14,000, 10x, $154,000 position size over here. And the position is now up $16,000, right? So just for me, going back to trading and not caring about what the market's really going to do, right? I look for the coins. I look for what makes the most sense. I look where the risk is really good, right? And I managed to get 118% short. But then the market pumped yesterday. Yes, it did. I caught the coin that was going the other way, right? The coin that was pumping for the last weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, right? So again, it's just the simple system of, me attempting a short here. If it went incorrect, I would have went one more time. If it went incorrect then I would have only traded today, right? So things like Zcash, just want to show you guys, there might be a bigger pool. I do think it's too late for the short right now, but look at that trend we're breaking on the daily. So that's why I paid attention. This thing goes down here. You know, I got a rocket ship. You know, my nice little 13K can become like $60,000, $70,000. I'm showing you this because I'm just showing what's possible in the current market, right? Some are long, some are short, but you are following a system where this could also go up again, right? So Zcash is something that I'm trading a little bit to the downside now, okay? But I'm going to track this thing. So in the next week or two, I can catch this thing to the upside. It might actually be by the end of the week. So let it do its thing. I'll TP out soon as the next drop happens. And when it breaks here, we can long this thing again. This could be a next week token. It doesn't have to be this week. But you can see how I'm always preparing myself for the next opportunities, right? As you go down here, right, you'll see there's trades boiling up everywhere. There is a 4-hour trend on Dash. Again, this is a token for me that if we decide to go here sideways and break, and you can put a nice little tight stop loss below, it really kind of determines where your leverage is sitting, right? So if we put this over here, below this low point here, and we buy the breakout here, it's 1%. I can easily 5x this token, right, on this trade. Is it ready yet? No. Will it be ready the next day? Yes, right? It can be ready. Or what's going to happen is it's going to drop more aggressive. Then it's a few days later, but then the trade's there. So you see why trends are currently my friend right now and the way I'm using it. Nice bounce from Cardano that we spoke about. Okay, and I just want to zoom out here to see where we are at. Okay, so let's draw a couple of trends, get a bit of an idea. Okay, so again, am I buying this thing to hold to all-time highs? Unless it's investment, no. What am I looking for here? I just drew the main trend at the top, right? So what does that mean? When the pop happens, it's going to pop there. Then it's likely it's going to do this, and then we can get a breakout. So this is something that I'm buying to TP out. Nice. Now, the next thing that I look at is where are the next trends, right? These are the ones we broke yesterday. Are we coming into retests? Yes, we are. Is there a bunch of supports here? Yes, there is, right? So it's very likely we can bounce. Do I need to predict? No. I can zoom in. Okay, I can put in this bottom trend line. And this too is telling me, don't waste your time on PPI. It's going to be volatile, right? So let it go, let it shake, let it do its thing. And then we go. Remember PPI, if it goes big green like this, a lot of times it's fake. So let it go, let it come down. That is where we're going to catch it, right? Very, very important to know that news events makes abnormal movements. Let it happen, let it push through. The only time I'd be entering trades now is they can survive short-term volatility. Bit of a bigger stop, bit more space, bit more these type of things. That for me is the exciting one. Guys, remember, we got a couple of deals here. I'm giving away a Rolex on BTC.C. Link below in the description, right? You will find, let's go here. Where is BTC.C? Here. A lot of sign-up bonuses. You can trade stocks over there. Okay, I'm going to be giving away a Rolex for anyone that has and is using my link. Bybit also has a nice sign-up bonus at this point. We know Bybit's one of the best in the world, right? So here there is a system if you guys are looking for an exchange account. Remember, Sniper Trading, which is Sniper Club, has gone free for you guys. Go join the list. We are starting to distribute from today. People are entering the club. It is now free for you all. Okay, let's go down the list over here. Let's see where we are at. Okay, nice little flag here. I'm not too interested in AVAX at this point. It's not the most sexiest trend. So if things don't truly make sense, suppose you could have that there, whatever breaks out there. But this is something that I would wait for, rather drop down, get some trends going, and buy through. Okay, so right now it's Solana. That's probably one of the best, sexiest coins right now. Oh, here is Dogecoin as well. The Doge actually broke out and is testing. So this isn't a bad area to pay attention. Put your trends in and catch the next major trends. Guys, we have the next few days to trade the markets. Over the next few days, then we'll start getting higher time frame moves. Then we can start doing other things again. For now, keep improving the skill and keep rocking it. Have a great day. I'll see you guys all tomorrow after the action. Lots of love. Bye-bye.